Summertime is a great time to head to the movies, but what movies should you spend your hard-earned cash on, and which should you just wait and rent at home? Well, joining me, our local movie critic, Kevin Carr with See It, Rent It, Skip It. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Terry?
Good. Let's start with the movie everybody seems to be talking about, the Julia Childs movie.
Okay.
Julie and Julia?
Julie and Julia. This one tells the story of Julie Powell, who wrote a blog a couple years ago about trying to do all of the recipes in Julia Child's book within a year. And Amy Adams plays her, and then Meryl Streep plays Julia Child, and they kind of give the history of Julia Child and how she developed the book.
Yeah, very cute.
Yeah.
Good casting here, I think.
Yeah, and well, Meryl Streep's fantastic in the movie, but it's even still kind of hard because doing a Julia Child impression, it's hard to not sound like a Saturday Night Live sketch, but she does a very great job with it. The thing with this movie, you shouldn't listen to what I have to say, because this movie's not for me. I'm not the crowd for this one.
It's a chick flick?
I wouldn't say chick flick, but a mom flick. My mom is going to love this movie. And, you know, my cousin who loves to cook. And if you love Julia Child, and it's directed by Nora Ephron, who did Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail. So that's not my cup of tea.
Okay.
If it is yours, you'll eat it up. No pun intended.
All right. So you can either see it or rent it, but don't skip it either way. Well, me, maybe you would skip it.
For me, it's a skip it, but I think for the audience, and you know who you are, it's going to be a see it.
All right, let's go to number 2 right now. I think we're going to talk about the horror film, The Perfect Getaway. Is that where we're going to next? Yes?
Sure.
And tell us about it.
Well, this is a story about a couple on their honeymoon in Hawaii, and they go kind of on this jungle trek hiking trail, and they think they're on the trail with some killers who have come over from Honolulu. And it's a suspense thriller. It's not as much a horror movie. It's not a straight horror movie like Saw or something like that. It's more suspenseful, and it's a more thriller and an action piece. It's a bit predictable. They advertise it as having a big twist.
Yeah.
I figured out the twist like within 20 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say in the trailer. Because the trailer looks pretty dramatic.
It's a neat little movie. It's a little bit high on itself, and it sometimes has some writing cheats in it, but you know, sort of, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed sitting there and just kind of letting it play out, and I thought it had some good performances with Steve Zahn and Timothy Olyphant and Milla Jovovich. I mean, they do a decent job with the movie.
Yeah. So you're saying see it?
This is a rent it.
A rent it.
Rent it.
Okay. Boy, you're hard today. The last big movie that's gotten lots of hype, G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra.
Yeah, this actually got a lot of news simply because they didn't screen it for critics. Only a couple critics got to see it. I went and checked it out at midnight last night with a crowd of a whole bunch of G.I. Joe fans. It's based on the cartoon that was based on the story, you know, the old action figures and everything. It's about the rise of the bad guys in the G.I. Joe universe, and it's this elite team of Army soldiers who have these really cool suits and weapons and action. It's sort of like Transformers in the sense that it's all about the action. The story's kind of lame and convoluted, and the acting's not that good.
Dennis Quaid's in it.
Dennis Quaid's in it. He's not in it as much as I would have liked.
You're kidding.
Yeah, he's a smaller part. It's more Channing Tatum and Sienna Miller and them. But it's one of those movies that if you're a 10-year-old boy, you know, or you remember what it was like to be watching this cartoon on Saturday mornings, that's what you're getting. You're getting a giant live-action cartoon. And so that's the draw for the theaters.
All right. Kevin Carr, thank you so much for joining us.
Yep.